The sky above Earth was unusually calm that night. Cities sparkled with lights, oceans reflected the moon, and the air was still. People on every continent were going about their routines, unaware that history was about to change. Then, without warning, a soft hum filled the air, a vibration that made people pause. At first it sounded like wind, but it wasn't. It grew louder, deeper, as if the Earth itself was singing. High above, glowing lights appeared in the darkness of space. They moved in perfect formation, like dancers in an impossible ballet. Each light grew brighter and larger, revealing enormous starships shaped like elegant crystals, reflecting colors humans had never seen before. Panic rippled across the globe. Governments scrambled fighter jets, alarm sirens blared, and satellites scrambled to capture the spectacle. But the humans quickly realized something strange. The ships were not attacking. They hovered, rotating slowly, almost inspecting the Earth. On board the largest vessel, a group of beings watched humanity through shimmering windows. They were the alien princesses, radiant and commanding. Each princess had a presence so powerful that even her silent gaze seemed to bend reality. Princess Kalira, the eldest and wisest of them, tilted her head and laughed softly. It was not a laugh of joy but of amusement, a sound that made the crew shiver with awe. "Look at them," she said, her voice like crystal bells. "So small, so fragile. They think themselves clever, yet they barely scratch the surface of the universe." Her sisters, equally regal and elegant, circled her, observing Earth. One of them, Princess Lysera, tapped her slender fingers against a console. "Their machines are quaint," she said. "And their cities, how primitive. They build towers yet cannot reach the stars. How amusing." Kalira smiled, her eyes reflecting the blue oceans of Earth. "Perhaps, but let us see if any of them can catch a spark of true understanding." Meanwhile, in a small city on Earth, a young engineer named Eli Mara was working late in his tiny workshop. He was a quiet man, not a soldier, not a politician, just someone who loved to study how things worked. Machines fascinated him, but so did patterns, codes, and the mysteries of the universe. That night, he felt a strange vibration through the floor of his workshop. Tools rattled, lights flickered, and his computer screens flashed. Curious, Eli stepped outside. The sky was ablaze. The ships hovered in perfect symmetry, glowing like giant stars with color gradients he could not name. His heart raced. He was not afraid, he was thrilled. Something inside him stirred, a sense of wonder and challenge he had never felt before. He grabbed his notebook and started drawing what he saw, shapes, colors, angles, anything that might help him understand. Around him people screamed, ran, and pointed, but Eli remained calm. He understood that this was a moment that could change everything. The alien princesses noticed him. Kalira's eyes lingered on Eli as he sketched furiously. "See?" she whispered to Lysera. "One of them dares to look deeper. Curious. Perhaps he is different." For 3 days, the alien fleet hovered above Earth. Governments tried to communicate, sending messages in all known languages, but the princesses ignored them. Instead, they spoke among themselves in a language that was music and light combined, sounds that humans could not hear and colors humans could not see. Every attempt at contact failed. The aliens mocked humanity's technology openly. Satellites tried to scan them, and the princesses laughed so loudly that the instruments malfunctioned. News agencies broadcast images, but commentators had no words to describe the sight. "They are like gods," one scientist whispered, "and they mock us like children." Eli, however, noticed a pattern. The way the ships moved, the rhythm of their lights, it was not random. It was a message. He realized that the princesses were testing humans' ability to notice, analyze, and adapt. He wrote down every observation, connecting dots no one else saw. On the 4th day, one of the princesses, Lysera, decided to leave a message. A single crystal descended from her ship, floating down to Earth like a falling star. It landed gently in a park near Eli's city. People rushed to touch it, but the crystal radiated a subtle warmth and seemed almost alive. Eli arrived first. His fingers trembled as he reached for the crystal. As soon as he touched it, his mind flooded with visions. Not clear images, but patterns, ideas, and equations that humans had never imagined. He staggered back, overwhelmed but exhilarated. The princesses observed him from above. "Interesting," Kalira murmured. This one seeks understanding, not power. Perhaps he could rise above his kind. The crystal stayed on Earth for a day before the fleet disappeared. The princesses laughed once more, their voices echoing faintly in the wind. "We will return," Kalira said, "and we shall see who truly deserves the stars." Humanity was left with questions. What were the princesses? Were they gods? Could humans survive in their presence? Governments argued, scientists debated, but most people simply stared at the sky, hoping for another glimpse. Eli, however, was determined. The crystal had given him something, a spark of insight. He began working tirelessly in his workshop, trying to understand the alien artifact. It was not just a machine. It was a puzzle, a test, and perhaps a key to communicating with beings far beyond Earth. Late at night, he wrote in his journal, "They may mock us, but they also observe. And observation can turn into respect. I will learn their language, their patterns, and their secrets. If they return, I will be ready." For the first time, humanity had a chance, not through weapons, not through armies, but through curiosity, intelligence, and the courage to face the unknown. The alien princesses had mocked Earth, yes. They had laughed at its cities and machines. But in Eli Mara, they had seen a glimmer, a spark of potential that could one day make humanity more than just a planet-bound species. Months passed since the alien fleet had vanished. Humanity tried to resume normal life, but nothing felt normal anymore. Every news headline, every scientific paper, every conversation seemed to circle back to the same question. What are they? Why did they come? Eli Mara, however, was not distracted by fear or gossip. He had devoted himself entirely to the crystal left behind by the princesses. It sat in the center of his workshop, glowing softly, almost breathing with an energy that seemed alive. He had named it the Spark Crystal because touching it made him feel as though ideas themselves were flowing through his mind. He had discovered that the crystal responded to patterns in thought, not just touch. Drawing shapes, solving equations, even imagining possibilities, all caused the crystal to pulse with light. He realized that it was not a simple machine, but a test. The princesses had left it deliberately, knowing someone would engage with it. Eli's nights grew longer, his notebooks thicker. He had mapped the pulse sequences, sketched the geometric patterns that appeared inside the crystal, and begun to notice a strange language in the lights. It was not spoken, it was felt. Colors, vibrations, and subtle warmth conveyed meaning. One evening, as he traced a particularly complex pattern, the crystal glowed brighter than ever before. His hands shook with excitement. Then, almost like a voice in his mind, a phrase emerged in clear thought. Curious, persistent, unbroken. Eli froze. The crystal, it understands me? He realized that this was the first real communication from the princesses themselves, encoded not in words, but in understanding. A shiver ran down his spine. They were testing humanity, yes, but they were also seeking something deeper. The spark of intellect and courage that set humans apart from mere machines. Meanwhile, far above Earth, the alien princesses observed. Kalira, the eldest, spoke to her sisters. They engage it, she said softly, her eyes fixed on the blue planet below. One of them has begun to understand. He does not fear us, nor does he grovel. He seeks knowledge, and that is rare. Lysera tilted her head. So we mock, yet one rises above the rest? Fascinating. Shall we test him further? Kalira smiled. Yes, it is time to see how far they can reach when challenged. The next test came unexpectedly. A new artifact appeared in Eli's workshop. It was smaller, a metallic cube etched with alien symbols that shimmered faintly in the dim light. As soon as Eli touched it, holographic shapes erupted around him. Stars, planets, and galaxies floated in the air, spinning and moving like living things. He realized quickly, this was no ordinary puzzle. The cube presented a problem that humans could not solve with brute force. It required intuition, logic, creativity, and empathy all at once. Eli spent days studying it. He mapped every movement, every color change, every vibration. He tested every possible combination, often failing but learning more with each attempt. His small apartment became a laboratory of determination, filled with sketches, diagrams, and half-finished experiments. People began to notice his obsession. Friends and colleagues called him crazy for spending days without sleep, for talking to a crystal and a cube as if they were alive. But Eli ignored them. He had discovered a truth. Humanity's strength was not in weapons or strength, but in mind and heart. On the 5th day of the new challenge, Eli had a breakthrough. The cube responded not to the patterns he drew, but to the intention behind them. It reacted to human thought, curiosity, and ethical choice, not mere calculation. He realized that the princesses were not just testing intellect, they were testing humanity itself. Could humans act wisely, fairly, and creatively when faced with challenges far beyond their understanding? The cube shimmered and pulsed faster, as if acknowledging his insight. Then for the first time a holographic figure appeared. It was faint, like a ghost made of light but unmistakably humanoid. Its eyes glowed like twin stars and its posture radiated both grace and authority. "You are remarkable," the figure said. The voice was soft, musical, almost like the wind through crystal. Eli's heart raced. The princesses. "They are speaking to me." "Why me?" Eli whispered. "Why not someone else?" The hologram's eyes seemed to study him, seeing not just his face but his mind, his heart. "You seek understanding, not power. You work for knowledge, not dominance. That is why you possess the spark of ingenuity. You can rise above your kind." Eli felt a rush of pride mixed with humility. He had never sought recognition. All he had ever wanted was to understand, to create, to see the universe clearly. And now, these beings, aliens beyond imagining, were acknowledging humanity through him. Back in space, Kalira watched the interaction. "They are learning," she said to her sisters. "This one, he carries the potential of his species. If he continues, he may lead them to greatness." Lysera frowned, a rare expression for a princess. "Do you think they are ready for the stars? For true cosmic understanding?" Kalira considered this. "Perhaps not yet, but one can guide them, and one must always test the limits of potential before granting trust." Days turned into weeks, and Eli's progress accelerated. He began experimenting with the crystal and the cube together, combining their energies. Each experiment revealed new layers of understanding. He discovered patterns in nature, principles of physics humans had only guessed at, and insights into how life and matter interacted across the universe. He began sharing his findings cautiously with trusted colleagues, not revealing the alien origins but teaching new ways to see problems. Slowly, small breakthroughs emerged in human technology. Devices became more efficient, energy sources more sustainable, and communication systems far faster than before. Humanity was growing smarter without even realizing why. And all the while, the princesses observed, intrigued by these humans' resilience and creativity. Kalira began to take a personal interest in Eli, not in the way humans might think of admiration, but in a sense of respect for his mind and spirit. Then came the true test. The cube emitted a pulse unlike any before, sending holographic images of alien worlds into Eli's workshop. He saw cities floating above oceans of gas, creatures that defied human imagination, and societies that had thrived for millennia beyond any human record. A question appeared, written not in words but in thought. Could humans survive and thrive among these civilizations? Eli paused. It was a question of both intellect and ethics. He realized that survival alone was not enough. Humans had to adapt, learn, cooperate, and maintain their moral integrity. He mapped a solution, a strategy for diplomacy, collaboration, and understanding rather than dominance or aggression. The cube pulsed brightly, and the holographic figure smiled. "You understand? You have taken the first step toward greatness." For the first time, Eli felt a connection not just to the princesses but to the universe itself. Humanity had been mocked, laughed at, dismissed, but now through him the princesses saw hope, potential, and brilliance. The final moment of the test came unexpectedly. A shimmering light appeared outside Eli's window. It was a small vessel, hovering silently in the night sky. Inside, Kalira herself observed. She spoke to Eli through the crystal for the first time. "Eli Mara," she said, her voice a mixture of authority and warmth. "You have shown what humanity can be. Your creativity, persistence, and wisdom shine brighter than any weapon or technology. You are our first true contact, not as subjects but as equals in thought. Continue on this path. Humanity's spark has not been extinguished, and through you, we shall see what it can become." Eli stood in awe. He realized that this was only the beginning. The princesses had mocked humanity once, yes, but now they were beginning to see its true potential. And he, a single human, had earned a place in their consideration, a bridge between two worlds. By the end of the week, The cube and the crystal fell silent. But something inside Eli had changed forever. He had glimpsed the future, a future where humans were not merely inhabitants of Earth but participants in a cosmic stage far beyond imagination. He wrote in his journal, "They once mocked us. They laughed at our limits. But they also watch and they test and they see, and if we continue, we may rise above what even they expect. I will not stop. Humanity will not stop. The stars await, and we shall meet them not as beggars but as equals." Months after Eli Mara had impressed the alien princesses, humanity was still buzzing with curiosity and cautious hope. Scientists had begun to study the crystal and the cube in secret, unlocking insights that advanced technology far beyond previous imagination. Yet the greatest challenge had not yet arrived. High above the solar system, beyond the orbit of Neptune, a dark mass moved silently. It was enormous, its shape shifting like smoke, impossible to define. It emitted no light of its own, yet it absorbed energy from nearby stars, leaving a faint trail of darkness behind. To anyone who saw it from Earth, it would have appeared as a shadow drifting through space. The princesses noticed it first. Kalira hovered above a star system hundreds of light years away, scanning the void. Her expression was serious, something rare for a princess. "It approaches," she whispered to Lysera. "A force unlike anything in our history. It consumes everything in its path." Lysera frowned. "Do we intervene?" Kalira shook her head. "It is not our fight, not yet. Let the humans face it in their own way. If they survive, they will rise. If they fail, it is only natural." But Kalira's eyes lingered on Earth. She had observed Eli Mara, the human who had awakened her curiosity and respect. He would be tested next, not by puzzles or cubes, but by the universe itself. Back on Earth, Eli was working late in his laboratory. He had grown accustomed to studying alien technology in secrecy, often isolating himself from the world. That night, the crystal pulsed violently, almost as if warning him. Eli instinctively knew something had changed. He reached for the crystal. The familiar warmth spread through his hands, but this time it was accompanied by visions. Planets being swallowed, fleets disintegrating, civilizations vanishing. His heart pounded. "They're coming," he muttered. He didn't know exactly who, but he knew enough. A threat was approaching, and Earth was the target. The crystal projected a holographic image of the dark mass. It was enormous, nearly the size of a small moon, and it moved with intent, consuming energy from everything nearby. The projection showed alien systems being stripped of their life energy, and the pattern suggested Earth would be next. Eli realized that humanity was unprepared. Conventional weapons would not stop this. No missile, no defense system could compete with such a force. And yet he felt something stir inside him, a spark of determination. Kalira's voice echoed through the crystal, calm but urgent. "Eli Mara, this is no ordinary threat. It is a consuming force, ancient and intelligent. Humanity cannot survive alone. But you, your mind, your ingenuity can guide them. You will be the champion of your species." Eli swallowed hard. "Champion? But I'm just a human, a simple engineer." "Your simplicity is your strength," Kalira replied. "You think differently than the rest of us. That is why you were chosen. And I will assist you, not as a ruler but as an ally. Trust your instincts. Humanity's future depends on it." Eli nodded, even though she could not see him. I understand." Over the next few days, Eli worked tirelessly to devise a plan. He gathered a team of the best human scientists, engineers, and strategists, explaining the threat as carefully as he could without causing panic. "The enemy is unlike anything we've faced," he told them. "It is intelligent, adaptive, and relentless. Conventional weapons will fail. But we have something unique, our creativity, our unpredictability, our ability to think outside patterns. If we can combine this with alien technology, we may stand a chance." The team was skeptical, but Eli's calm confidence inspired them. They had already witnessed his brilliance in decoding the alien artifacts. Now faced with annihilation, they trusted his vision. The humans began constructing a network of devices designed to confuse and redirect the predator rather than attack it directly. They deployed sensors across the solar system, creating illusions of energy, planets, and even fake civilizations. Their goal was not to destroy the threat, but to trick it into wasting its energy. Kalira and her sisters observed secretly, impressed by humanity's strategy. "They are clever," Kalira admitted. "The unpredictability we saw in Eli now extends to his species. Perhaps they are ready to rise." As the predator neared, it became clear how adaptive it was. Each human strategy was met with a response. The illusions were dissected, fake signals traced, and energy shields bypassed. For the first time, humanity felt the pressure of the cosmos, but Eli remained calm. He realized that the predator, as intelligent as it was, relied on patterns. It expected logical responses. Humans, however, could act unpredictably, combining intuition, empathy, and courage. Eli adjusted the plan to focus on human unpredictability. "We don't just defend," he said to his team. "We think like it thinks, but then we act differently. We are not patterns. We are humans." The battle of wits unfolded in space. Humans created decoy energy sources, holographic fleets, and false planetary signals. The predator reacted, consuming them one by one, but each action revealed new insights. Eli and his team adapted faster than the predator could predict. Kalira, observing from her fleet, whispered to Lysera, "They are learning. Not just surviving, they are evolving." Lysera nodded. "I did not expect this. Their minds are sharper than I imagined." Eli's final strategy involved a bold risk. He planned to draw the predator into a loop, using a combination of human ingenuity and alien technology from the crystal. It required precise timing, intuition, and trust between humans and aliens. One mistake, and Earth would be destroyed. The night the predator approached, humanity held its breath. Sensors hummed, shields glowed, and holographic fleets danced across space. Eli coordinated the humans' actions with Kalira, guiding him remotely through the crystal. At first, the predator reacted as expected, consuming illusions and energy sources. But then the humans did something unexpected. They created a pattern with gaps, flaws that only humans could exploit. The predator paused, confused. Its pattern-based thinking could not predict the sudden unpredictability. Eli seized the moment. "Now," he shouted. The holographic network shifted, guiding the predator into a region of space filled with decoys that drained its energy. It became trapped in a self-created loop, unable to consume further without destroying itself. The predator roared silently, a wave of energy shaking satellites and instruments, but it could not escape. Humanity had outsmarted it, not with brute force but with intelligence, adaptability, and creativity. When the predator finally retreated, silence fell over the solar system. Humans stared at the stars in disbelief. They had faced annihilation and survived, not because of weapons, but because of their ingenuity and cooperation. Kalira appeared in the crystal's light. "Eli Mara," she said, voice calm but filled with awe, "you have done what I never expected. You have shown that humanity can rise to challenges even we cannot control. You are the champion of your species. I am honored to serve as your ally." Eli felt a surge of pride tempered by humility. "I only did what I had to," he said. "We all did it together. Humanity did it." Kalira smiled. "Yes, and now the universe has seen the first true spark of human greatness. Never forget that the mind, courage, and creativity can overcome even the darkest forces." The solar system slowly returned to normal. Earth's leaders praised Eli and his team, though few understood the full scale of the threat. Humanity had survived an unimaginable danger, and the princesses had officially acknowledged them as worthy allies in cosmic affairs. Eli returned to his laboratory, exhausted but exhilarated. He touched the crystal, and for the first time it responded with a calm glow. Kalira's voice echoed softly, "This is only the beginning. Greater challenges await, but now we face them together. Humanity's spark will shine among the stars." The solar system was quiet again, but the calm was deceptive. The cosmic predator had retreated, yes, but the alien princesses knew it could return, or worse, that other dangers might appear. Kalira hovered above the edge of the solar system, observing Earth with a mixture of curiosity and respect. Humanity had survived, but now they faced the real test, proving they could thrive among the stars. Eli Mara felt the weight of responsibility more than ever. He had led humanity through its first cosmic threat and earned the respect of beings who were centuries ahead of them in knowledge and technology. Yet he knew the universe would demand more. Humanity could not remain passive. They had to learn, adapt, and excel. His first task was to coordinate with the princesses. Through the crystal, Kalira projected herself into his workshop, her form shimmering like living light. "Eli," she said, her voice calm and clear, "you have proven your species' ingenuity. But to survive in the galaxy, You must show leadership beyond solving problems. You must inspire, guide, and unify. Eli nodded, understanding the magnitude of her words. I will do my best, but I can't do it alone. You will not be alone, Kalira replied. I will assist you, and through you humanity will rise. But the next challenge will test both your mind and your spirit. The challenge came swiftly. Reports arrived of a distant star system under threat. A massive interstellar storm, unlike anything Earth had experienced, was heading toward the planets, threatening to annihilate colonies, infrastructure, and entire ecosystems. Unlike the Predator, this was not intelligent, but it was relentless, chaotic, and unpredictable. Eli gathered his team immediately. Engineers, scientists, and strategists worked alongside the alien princesses to devise a plan. Humans contributed ingenuity, creativity, and adaptability, while the princesses offered advanced technology and guidance. Together, they began constructing a series of protective shields, energy diversions, and navigational guidance systems designed to safeguard both human and alien colonies in the path of the storm. Remember, Eli told them, the storm cannot be reasoned with. We cannot fight it directly. We must outthink it, guide it, and use its own chaos against itself. Trust your instincts. Humanity survives because we are unpredictable. For days, Earth and the surrounding colonies were a hive of activity. Cities converted energy grids into research and shield generators. Satellites became observation and control nodes. Holographic projections of the storm allowed Eli and his team to simulate thousands of possible outcomes. Every plan was tested, refined, and adjusted. Kalira watched closely. They are remarkable, she said to Lysera. Humans are not strong, but they are clever, persistent, and daring. They do not simply react, they create solutions that even we had not considered. Lysera nodded. It is fascinating to see potential realized. The one who led them, Eli Mara, he is truly extraordinary. As the storm drew closer, the first failures began. Shields collapsed under unexpected turbulence. Energy diversions malfunctioned. Even some alien guidance systems failed to predict the storm's sudden shifts. Panic threatened to spread among the human operators. Eli remained calm. He reviewed the data, looking for a pattern not in the storm itself but in how humans interacted with it. He noticed that the most successful interventions came from operators who trusted intuition, who adapted to unexpected changes in real time. Rather than rigidly following protocols, he made a bold decision. Instead of trying to control the storm, they would guide it through a series of human-created pathways, essentially leading it around vulnerable colonies. It was risky, but it relied on humanity's greatest strength, creativity under pressure. Follow me, Eli instructed, and adjust constantly. The storm is chaotic, but we are more unpredictable than it. We will use that to survive. The storm moved into the solar system, a swirling mass of plasma, energy, and debris. It thundered across the planets, consuming asteroids and dust. Sensors screamed with overloads. Satellites trembled. Humans and aliens alike held their breath. Eli coordinated teams across the solar system, giving instructions in real time. Small adjustments to shields, energy grids, and gravitational diversions created subtle shifts in the storm's path. Each move had to be perfectly timed. One mistake could destroy a colony. Hours passed like years. Exhaustion crept into every operator's mind. Yet under Eli's calm guidance, humans continued to adapt, innovate, and collaborate. Kalira observed him closely. He does not command through fear, she whispered. He guides through understanding. He inspires others to see possibilities they could not imagine. That is what makes him a true champion. As the storm neared Earth, Eli's final strategy came into play. Using a combination of human ingenuity and alien technology, he created a series of energy vortices, designed to absorb and redirect the storm's chaotic energy. These vortices were not static. They shifted constantly, responding to the storm in real time. Humans and aliens monitored the network, adjusting minute by minute. The storm roared toward Earth, then struck the first vortex. Energy crackled and shimmered, diverted into harmless channels. The storm twisted, redirected, and struck the next vortex. Again, energy dissipated, leaving Earth untouched. Eli watched, heart pounding. The final adjustment required him to synchronize the entire system. Every human operator, every alien device, every crystal pulse had to act together in perfect harmony. Now, he shouted. Every operator made their move. Lights flashed, grids hummed, and the storm was finally guided along a safe path, away from Earth and nearby colonies. Silence followed. The storm had passed, leaving humanity and its allies unscathed. Kalyra appeared through the crystal, her form glowing with pride. Eli Mara, you have done what few could imagine. You have not only saved your species, but demonstrated leadership, intelligence, and courage worthy of respect across the stars. Humanity owes you more than words can express. Eli shook his head, exhausted but smiling. I could not have done it alone. Every human, every ally contributed. This is humanity's achievement, not mine alone. Kalyra's eyes shone. Yes, but it is through you that we see their potential realized. You are our bridge, our guide, and now our champion. The recognition came formally. The princesses appeared above Earth in a fleet of radiant starships, their presence no longer mocking but reverent and protective. They broadcast a message in every human language. We once laughed at your limitations. We doubted your abilities. But one human has shown us your true potential. Eli Mara, champion of humanity, has proven that your species possesses courage, intellect, and creativity beyond expectation. We pledge our support and guidance, and through him, humanity will rise among the stars. For the first time, humans looked at the sky and felt pride instead of fear. The princesses, once mocking observers, were now allies and mentors, offering knowledge, guidance, and respect. Eli returned to his workshop, touched the crystal, and felt a sense of calm triumph. He thought of humanity, their persistence, their creativity, their courage, and realized that this was only the beginning. The universe was vast and unpredictable, but now, humans had proven they could rise to any challenge. He wrote in his journal, "We are no longer mocked. We are no longer observers of the stars. We are participants. Through courage, creativity, and unity, humanity can achieve greatness. I am honored to serve as their champion, but it is their spirit that truly shines. Together we will face the universe not with fear, but with hope and ingenuity." The solar system returned to normal life, but the transformation within humanity was profound. People no longer looked at the stars with trembling awe. They looked with determination and curiosity. Humanity had faced cosmic threats, outsmarted annihilation, and earned respect from a superior species. Kalyra and her sisters remained in orbit, close but not intrusive. They observed, guided, and occasionally tested, but always with respect and admiration. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, and Eli Mara had become the symbol of their potential. For the first time, humans understood that their greatest strength was not their weapons, their numbers, or their technology. It was their mind, their spirit, and their willingness to rise to challenges that seemed impossible. The victory over the cosmic storm had solidified humanity's confidence. The world was no longer small and fragile. It had proven itself capable of facing unimaginable dangers. Yet the true change was not in Earth's defenses or technology, but in the spirit of its people. Humanity had learned that courage, creativity, and unity were their greatest weapons, and through Eli Mara, the universe had recognized them. Kalyra and her sisters had remained in orbit, their starships now a constant presence but not an intrusion. They guided humans, shared knowledge, and observed as humanity adapted to its new reality. The princesses no longer mocked humanity. They respected it. Through Eli, they had discovered that human ingenuity could surpass even their own expectations. Eli had become more than a scientist or engineer. He had become a symbol, a bridge between two species, a champion whose intellect and courage inspired everyone. People began to look at him not as an individual, but as a representation of humanity's potential. With Kalyra's guidance, humans began to explore the stars in earnest. Using modified alien propulsion systems, they sent exploratory ships to nearby star systems, observing alien life, strange phenomena, and uncharted worlds. Eli helped design these ships, ensuring that human crews were equipped with tools that relied on intelligence, observation, and adaptability rather than brute force. One of the first missions took humans to a planet orbiting a binary star. The planet's surface was unstable, with constantly shifting terrain and violent storms. No species could survive without careful adaptation. The human crew, guided by Eli's principles of creativity and teamwork, built adaptive shelters, harnessed energy from natural phenomena, and even communicated with the planet's indigenous life forms in ways no alien had attempted before. Kalyra watched from her ship, Remarkable, she whispered. They do not simply conquer, they understand, adapt, and cooperate. That is what sets them apart. Lizera, standing beside her, nodded. I underestimated them. Their minds are a marvel. The champion has truly shown us the spark of humanity. Back on Earth, Eli worked tirelessly to prepare humanity for this new era. He trained leaders, scientists, and explorers, emphasizing that the universe demanded creativity, cooperation, and ethical judgment. Weapons alone would not secure humanity's place in the cosmos. Intellect and moral courage would not. News of humanity's achievements spread rapidly. People no longer feared the stars. They aspired to reach them. Young children dreamed of joining exploratory crews inspired by Eli and the princesses. Universities studied alien technology, but with a focus on problem-solving, critical thinking, and ethical use, not just replication. Humanity was growing not just in knowledge but in wisdom. Eli often met with Kalira and her sisters in the crystal's light. They discussed strategies for exploration, potential threats, and ways to foster alliances with other civilizations. Kalira sometimes smiled at him, a mixture of respect and curiosity. You have done more than survive, Eli. You have guided your species to greatness, and through you we have learned as well. Eli shook his head humbly. It is not me alone. Humanity as a whole has shown what it can do. I only help them see their own potential. The princesses decided it was time to make a formal alliance. In a ceremony broadcast across Earth and into orbit, Kalira and her sisters descended in their radiant fleet. Humanity watched, hearts racing as the aliens spoke in every language known to humans. We once laughed at your limits. We doubted your abilities. But through one human, Ilimara, we have seen the truth. Your species possesses courage, intelligence, and creativity beyond expectation. We offer guidance, friendship, and knowledge. Humanity is now a partner among the stars. The crowd erupted with awe and joy. People cheered not only for Eli but for themselves, for their species. It was a moment of collective pride and recognition. The moment when humanity truly understood that they were no longer earthbound. They were part of a larger cosmic community. Eli stepped forward, humbled by the honor. He raised his hands, quieting the crowd. This is not the achievement of one person. It is the achievement of humanity. We have survived challenges, we have learned, and now we stand ready to explore, discover, and create. Let us continue together with courage and imagination, and prove that we can rise to any challenge the universe presents. Kalira bowed, acknowledging his words. Well said, champion. You have reminded us that greatness comes not from strength but from mind, heart, and spirit. We shall serve and guide, but the stars now belong to those brave enough to reach them. In the weeks that followed, humans and princesses collaborated on projects that once seemed impossible. Cities were redesigned to integrate alien technologies, making energy generation more efficient and sustainable. Communication networks extended beyond the solar system, connecting humanity with distant colonies and observation stations. Knowledge flowed freely, but it was always paired with the human capacity for ingenuity and ethical judgment. Exploration ships ventured further, encountering civilizations that had remained hidden for millennia. Some species were cautious, some curious, but all respected humanity's approach of collaboration rather than conquest. The universe began to recognize that humans were not simply another species. They were a force of ingenuity, creativity, and resilience. Eli traveled with these missions, guiding crews, solving problems, and learning from alien civilizations. Kalira and her sisters often accompanied him, acting as both allies and teachers. Together they explored new worlds, shared knowledge, and faced challenges that tested both human and alien ingenuity. One evening, on the observation deck of Earth's orbiting research station, Eli looked out at the stars. He thought about the journey humanity had taken, from being mocked by the princesses to standing as their respected partners. He thought about the cosmic predator, the storm, and the countless challenges humanity had overcome. Kalira appeared beside him. "Do you see, Eli?" she asked softly. "This is only the beginning. Your species has risen, but there is still much to learn. The universe is vast and its lessons are endless." Eli nodded, smiling. "Yes, but now we know that we can face it. Not because we are strongest, but because we are clever, courageous, and united. Humanity has earned its place, and we will continue to rise." Kalira's eyes sparkled with admiration. Through you, we have learned that even a species we once underestimated can inspire greatness. We serve the champion, yes, but we also serve a vision of humanity that is limitless. Together, they watched the stars, knowing that the future held wonders, challenges, and discoveries beyond imagination. Humanity had proven itself, but the journey was far from over. The universe was vast, and they were ready. Back on Earth, children gazed at the night sky, dreaming of joining exploration crews inspired by Eli Mara and the princesses. Scientists pushed the boundaries of knowledge. Leaders guided their people with wisdom and vision. Humanity had been mocked once, but now they were celebrated across the cosmos. The crystal and the cube, now housed in a global research center, pulsed softly, a reminder of how curiosity and courage could spark greatness. Eli often visited, teaching new generations to see not just with their eyes, but with their minds and hearts. And in the fleet above Earth, Kalira and her sisters remained as mentors, allies, and friends, watching humanity grow into its full potential. Eli wrote in his journal one last time, "We were once laughed at, dismissed, and underestimated. But humanity has shown what it can achieve through intelligence, courage, and unity. The stars are now within our reach, and we will meet them not as weaklings but as champions. This is our time, and we will rise together." The universe listened, and for the first time humanity's voice was heard not in fear but in confidence, creativity, and hope.